Welcome to the chapter 3 of the series Computer Networks. In this video, we will discuss about TCP IP and its comparison with OSI model. What is TCP IP? TCP IP is a set of standardized rules that allow computers to communicate over a network such as Internet. It was developed by Advanced Research Project Agency Network. Now let us understand what TCP IP stands for. IP in TCP IP stands for Internet Protocol, which is the part that obtains the address to which data is sent. TCP stands for Transmission Control Protocol and is responsible for data delivery once the IP address has been found. Let us now discuss about the layers of TCP IP model. In our previous video, we discussed the OSI model, which has 7 layers. TCP IP is nothing but the practically implemented version of the OSI model. It has 2 versions, 5 layers and 4 layers, which are conceptually the same and is derived from the layers of OSI reference model. The application layer of TCP IP comprises of application, session and presentation layer of OSI model. Network layer becomes the internet layer, while the data link and physical layer form the network access layer of the 4-layer model. Similarities between OSI and TCP IP reference model. Both the models are the logical models and have similar architectures constructed with layers. Both the models have defined standards and they also provide the framework used for implementing the standards and devices. The standards and protocols which are already predefined, these models do not redefine them. They just reference or use them. For example, the Ethernet standards were already defined by IEEE before the development of these models. Instead of recreating them, the models use these predefined standards. Both the models have simplified the troubleshooting process by breaking complex functions into simpler components. In this slide, we highlighted the difference between OSI and the TCP IP model under certain categories. Who developed each of these models, like ISO versus ARPANET, total number of layers 7 versus 4, the reference model of the OSI versus the practically implemented model of TCP IP, the reliability of transport layer, separation versus inclusion of session and presentation layer, connection oriented versus connectionless service of network layer, the protocols, 3 distinguishing concepts, and eventually the usage of both the models. Let us now discuss each layer one by one. The application layer prepares human communication over transmission over the network and allows the users to interact with the application. It facilitates the user to use the services such as email, user logging, transfer of files through web browsers or other application. It combines functionalities of session layer, presentation layer and the application layer of the OSI models. Let us have a look at some of the application layer protocols. Telnet. Telnet provides bidirectional text-oriented services for remote login to the host over the network. File Transfer Protocol or FTP is a client-server based protocol for transfer of files between client and server over the network. Hypertext Transfer Protocol or HTTP is the underlying protocol for the World Wide Web. It defines how hypermedia messages are formatted and transmitted. It gives user a way to interact with web resources. Domain Name System or DNS is a naming system for devices in networks. It provides services for translating domain names to IP addresses. Simple Mail Transfer Protocol or SMTP lays down the rules and semantics for sending and receiving emails. Transport layer. This layer corresponds to the transport layer of the OSI model. It can provide for a reliable connection. It can also carry out error checking and flow control. It divides each message into packets at the source and reassembles them at the destination. Some of the transport layer protocols are Transmission Control Protocol or TCP. It is a reliable connection-oriented protocol that transmits data from the source at the destination machine and source to the destination machine without any error. At the sending host, TCP divides an incoming byte stream into segments, and at the receiving, it reorders the segments and sends the acknowledgement to the sender. User Datagram Protocol or UDP is a message-oriented protocol that provides a simple, unreliable, connectionless, and unacknowledged service. It is suitable for application transmitting a small amount of data and that do not require TCP sequencing, error control, or flow control, where speed of delivery is more important than accuracy. Stream Control Transmission Protocol or SCTP combines both the features of TCP and UDP, message-oriented like UDP and reliable connection-oriented service like TCP. Internet layer. It can be compared to the network layer of OSI model. Internet layer is responsible for logical transmission of data packets over internet. It is responsible for translating logical addresses like Amazon.com to physical addresses. It routes each of the data packets independently from the source to the destination using the optimal route. Some of the internet layer protocols are Internet Protocol or IP. It is a connectionless and unreliable protocol that dictates how data should be delivered over the public network such as internet. It transports data packets called datagrams. Address Resolution Protocol or ARP. This protocol maps the logical address or the internet address of a host to its physical address. RARP or Reverse Address Resolution Protocol is to find the internet address of a host when its physical address is known. Internet Control Message Protocol or ICMP monitors sending the queries as well as the error message. Internet Group Message Protocol or IGMP allows the transmission of a message to a group of recipients simultaneously. Network Access Layer. This layer can be considered as the combination of physical layer and data link layer of the OSI model. It is the lowest layer of the TCP IP model and is concerned with the physical transmission of data. It states the transmission mode, that is simplex, half duplex, or full duplex. It also states the topology of the network, that is bus, star, or ring. Some network access layer protocols are Ethernet. Ethernet transmits the frames from one node to the next and only guarantees that if the frame arrives, it arrived intact. Frame relay. Frame relay is a protocol that defines how frames are routed through a fast packet network and sends information in packets called frames through a shared frame relay network and is used in wide area network topology. Token ring is used in a LAN technology, where all the devices are connected in a ring or star topology and pass one or more tokens from host to host. ATM or asynchronous transfer mode is a switching technique that uses time division multiplexing for data communications. That's all about TCP/IP. Thank you so much for watching.